I got so many books that don't even fit in the frame. But yay, book haul! Hey book lovers, Victoria here today with my July book haul, and I can't believe we are in August and it is currently booktubeathon time. I'm taking a couple of hours out to film, edit and upload this book haul because if I don't do it now it'll be the middle of the month and I will have acquired probably more books and I just won't feel like doing it, so I'm doing it now. So before I start, for those doing the booktubeathon, hope you're doing really well with your reading. I haven't read anything so far. I was planning to read last night when the clock struck midnight, but I fell asleep. So I hope to get some reading done today. Yeah, but if you are doing the booktubeathon, I hope you're doing well and good luck for the rest of the week. Let's get into this book haul because I have 23 books. Yeah, so the first book I got is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, and one of my goals in life for reading is to read more classics and especially some Jane Austen. So I took to the internet and asked what Jane Austen book I should read first, considering I haven't read it before. A lot of people were saying Pride and Prejudice, but I kind of wasn't feeling it. But the other kind of good options for a Jane Austen newbie were Northanger Abbey, Emma and Sense and Sensibility. And I looked at the blurbs of all of them and they sounded really good. And then I just narrowed it down to Northanger Abbey for two reasons. The first one being it is, I think, Jane Austen's shortest book, and I thought that would probably be a good place to start. And also Northanger Abbey has a really interesting story. It kind of might have some sort of fantasy-ish elements. It's about a girl called Catherine who goes to stay at her friend's house called Northanger Abbey, where there are heaps of sealed off rooms, and her imagination sort of starts running wild and threatens to run away from her, and she begins to understand the gap between fantasy and reality, false friends and true feelings. So it sounds really interesting, and I really love the Penguin English Library editions. They are so beautiful and feel so nice, so I can't wait to get the rest of Jane Austen's collection in this edition. The next book I got is Every Other Day by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this was a Booktopia end of financial year sale book, so I had to pick it up. I've been wanting it for a while, but it's never really grabbed me enough for me to get it before now. It is about a girl called Kaylee who goes to school every second day as a normal person. However, every other day she is a demon hunter and she has to hunt, trap and kill demons, hellbounds and other supernatural creatures that threaten her world. However, one day when she's at school, she notices a mark on one of the popular girls, and this mark means she will be killed by a demon within the next 24 hours. However, Kaylee is stuck within the wrong 24 hours to be able to save her. It sounds really good. It sounds really good, and I can't wait to read it. And I know that Jennifer has gotten some really good praise for her Raised by Wolves series, which I haven't read yet, but I'm excited to see what this one's like. The next two books I got were The Elite and The Heir by Kira Cass, books 2 and 4 in the Selection series. I did also order the one at the same time that I ordered these two, but it is yet to arrive. I read the Selection during July, and it was really good, so it was really good, so I'm keen to continue the series on. So hopefully if the one arrives this month, I'll be able to fly through this portion of the series and await the novella bind-up that's coming out in October. The next book I got is Nobody's Prize by Esther Freijner. I think I said that right. The second book in the Nobody's Princess duology. And I read Nobody's Princess in April-ish? May. I read Nobody's Princess in May, and it was really good. And so this duology follows the life of Helen of Troy when she's a teenager, known as Helen of Sparta, and just sort of about her adventures. It combines historic fiction with Greek mythology, and it's really good. So this book follows Helen on her quest as part of the fleet with Jason to search for the Golden Fleece. So I'm excited because I really enjoyed the first book, and I can't wait to conclude the little duology here. And then also by Esther Freijner, I'm probably saying this wrong, I got Sphinx's Princess, which is the first book in the Sphinx's Princess duology. And this one follows the Egyptian Queen Nefertiti on something. I'm not entirely sure what it's about. I kind of just want to go in a little bit blind. Anyway, I enjoyed Nobody's Princess, so I definitely think I'm going to enjoy this because just as much as I like Greek mythology and ancient Greek society, I do enjoy the ancient Egyptian society. The next book I got is Paper Towns by John Green. I have to admit something. I haven't read any John Green yet. I do own The Fault in Our Stars and I haven't watched the movie yet. So yeah, I need to get some John Green in my life. And I kind of was going to wait until the hype died down around The Fault in Our Stars. But even then I was like, I don't really feel like going into that sort of a book. So I looked at all of John Green's other books and kind of went for the more upbeat ones because, as you probably know, John Green does have a way of writing kind of sad stories. So Paper Town sounds like it's going to be really fun, and I obviously want to go see the movie or watch the movie when it comes out on DVD whenever I get around to reading the book. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this. You should all know what this is about because let's face it, it's everywhere. The next book I got is After Obsession by Carrie Jones and Stephen E. Weddle. Again, another Booktopia end of financial year sale buy. I was kind of a bit iffy about this because, I don't know, it didn't really jump out as me as much as the other couple of books I got for the end of financial year sale did, but I thought it's a cheap book, I'm going to get it. This is about Amy and Alan, who both have secrets, intriguing pasts, and abilities that they prefer to keep hidden, and they kind of don't really like each other much, and they have a mutual friend, Courtney. Courtney is Amy's best friend and also Alan's cousin. And some creepy stuff is happening in town, and then Courtney is possessed by a ghost, and they have to work together to exorcise it and save her. But it sounds alright. I'm going to give it a go. Hopefully it is pretty good. The next book I got is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. And yeah, I've been wanting to read this series for a while but never sort of picked it up, and then especially recently over the past couple of months when Percy Jackson celebrated its 10th anniversary and everyone was doing their celebratory unboxings. So I finally got around to pick up the first book, and I'm planning on reading this during the booktubeathon, so hopefully I get to it. I'm excited. I definitely can't wait to read it. Everyone has so much high praise for this book, so I can't wait to dive in and just fall into the world and just fall in love with Percy Jackson. The next book I got, which was also another Booktopia end of financial year sale buy, and that was The Circle by Sarah B. Elfgren and Matt Strandberg, which is the first book in a trilogy that I don't know the name of because it's in Swedish, I think. The Circle trilogy, we will call it. This book was originally published in Swedish, so I think it's really cool. That's why I can't pronounce anything. I just hope there's no Swedish names in here. But anyway, I am excited about this book. It sounds really interesting, and I'm just going to read the blurb because I don't know how to explain it that makes it sound as cool as the blurb does. One night, when a strange red moon fills the sky, 6 schoolgirls find themselves in an abandoned theme park, drawn there by a mysterious force. A student has just been found dead. Everyone suspects suicide. Everyone except them. In that derelict fairground, an ancient prophecy is revealed. They are the chosen ones, a group of witches bound together by a power, one which could destroy them all. But they soon learn that despite their differences, they need each other in order to master the forces that have been awakened within them. High school is now a matter of life and death. High school is now a matter of life and death because the killing has only just begun. I am so excited. I enjoy witch stories. I haven't read enough of them. And I'm excited to get to this. When I actually received the book, I sent a tweet out to Ben over at Benjamin of Tomes and asked him if he'd read the book and the series and what he thought, and he came back to me saying it was really good, he really enjoyed it, and I feel like that is a stamp of approval because if you watch Ben, you will know that he is like a connoisseur in witchy books. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this, and I'm just hoping that I don't let the chunkiness get to me because it sounds so good. The next 2 books I got are The Two Towers and The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien, the books 2 and 3 in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I got the first book in May, I think it was, because I planned to at least start the series at some point this year, and I wasn't going to get the other books until I'd started the book. But I noticed these on Booktopia for under $5 each, and I was like, come on, you gotta get it, they're cheap. Really cheap considering they were like $11. They were essentially like 60% off nearly. So yeah, I definitely want to read this series at some point. and I definitely want to have started this series by the end of the year, even if I'm reading it over the new year. But yeah, I want to dive into this series, and I want to enjoy it as much as everyone else does. Now, if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, or even saw my wrap up and booktubeathon TBR videos, then these next couple of books will come as no surprise to anyone, and that is the next 5 books in the Pretty Little Liars series by Sarah Shepard, which includes the companion novel book 4.5 Pretty Little Secrets, which I am nearly finished, and then books 5 through 8, which is Wicked, Killer, Heartless, and Wanted. And yeah, I am flying through this series. I am flying through this series. I thoroughly enjoy it, and I definitely feel like the next couple of books will be in my next haul because they're just that good and I'm flying through them that quickly. The next book I got is The Homegirls by Olga Masters, which is a bind up of some of her, at least I think it's some of her short stories. It might be all of them, I'm not quite sure. The reason I got this is I'm currently studying creative writing at university, and the book we are working on is, I actually have it, and we are slowly making our way through the writing book by Kate Grenfell, which is really good, and I'll explain about this in a minute. And in it there are examples and excerpts from, I think it's mainly Australian authors and texts that sort of just focus on the topic that Kate is referring to, and one of the excerpts was from the short story The Homegirls, and it was really good and I really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to know the rest of it. Now, I could have probably gone online and found the whole short story for free, but I went and actually bought the book because I did find it really interesting, and I definitely reckon I definitely think I will read some of her other short stories and probably enjoy them just as much. She's gotten so much praise for her writing, and I am excited to see what the rest of her work is like. So I picked up The Australian Ugliness by Robin Boyd because this one just sounded interesting. It's meant to be sort of like a look at Australian society kind of after the war, when things are picking up and everything, and it sounds really interesting. I don't know if I'll like it. I don't know. And I don't know if this is fiction or non-fiction. But anyway, I'm excited. I definitely want to read just some more work about things that are set in Australia because I haven't read enough. I know a few Australian authors, but I haven't read their books yet. Now, on to a couple of uni books I had to get this month. The first one, which I've just showed you, is the writing book by Kate Grenfell. Kate has written a lot of prize-winning books, 2 of them being The Secret River and The Idea of Perfection, and The Secret River actually just got turned into a telemovie. But yeah, it is such a good book, and I am about 50 pages in because we were just working through chapter by chapter, or a couple of chapters each week. But it's really good. It kind of tells you how to write fiction, but it sort of doesn't in a way. It's not like step 1 do this, step 2 do this. It's just sort of, these are the things you should know about, and each writer has their own way of doing each of these things, and for the most part it's not a right or wrong way. It's just how you think, how you feel, and how you want to create your story. And it's really quite interesting to read. It's like inspiring. Whenever I sit down and go through this book and do the little exercises that are in here, I am thinking about my own novel idea, which is like buzzing around in my head, which I hope will still all be full and fresh by the time November rolls around for NaNoWriMo. But yeah, it's just really good, and I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to write because it's interesting. It's a quick and short read. It's just very handy. The next book I got is The Twyborn Affair by Patrick White, and I have to read this for my Australian literature course. And I'm kind of on the fence about it because it doesn't sound like something I would read or that I would like. And I'm just going to read the back because I really don't know what it's about or how else to explain it. Eddie Twyborn is bisexual and beautiful, the son of a judge and a drunken mother. With this androgynous hero, Eudoxia Eddie Edith Twyborn, and through his search for identity, for self-affirmation and love in its many forms, Patrick White takes us on a journey into the ambiguous landscapes, sexual, psychological and spiritual, of the human condition. Yeah, I don't really know. It doesn't sound like... If I saw this in a bookshop, I probably wouldn't pick it up. I don't have to read it until September, so hopefully I like it. This is probably going to be, if I can find one, an audiobook thing, just because it doesn't sound like something that I would necessarily read and be able to fly through in time for uni. But I'm definitely going to give it a go because I obviously need to do it for assignments and exams and stuff. So wish me luck. The next book I got, also for Australian literature, was the Penguin Best Australian Short Stories, edited by Mary Lord, and like the title said, this is just a bind-up of short stories written by Australian authors. I don't know many that are written on the back, but yeah, I'm excited. Again, because I'm doing Australian literature, it's kind of just made me want to read more work from Australian authors, and this is definitely a start. I mean, I don't own many Australian authors. It's really easy for me just to go out and buy them, but yeah, I don't really know. I don't own many, and I've read about three Australian authors. That's really sad. So yeah, excited for this because I don't know how much I have to read for uni, how many stories out of this, but hopefully it's a good majority, and I'll probably just finish the rest off by the end of the year. Finally, the last book I got, which was a total surprise because I didn't order it or anything, and that is The Residence: Inside the Private World of the White House by Kate Anderson Brower. And I got this in one of my Booktopia orders when I ordered the Two Text Classics and Northanger Abbey, and this one was in it as well, and I've since messaged them, sent out a tweet and everything, and totally cool about it. They don't know why I have it, but they're like, just enjoy it, read it and review it. So I'm going to do that. So thank you, Booktopia, for accidentally including this book. This is a non-fiction book that looks at the presidents and their families in the White House from the 1960s until today, and that is the Kennedys, the Johnsons, the Nixons, the Reagans, the Clintons, and the Obamas. Oh, I knew them all. That was pretty good. Not in that order. I'm pretty sure I did them in the wrong order, but that's not the point. And I'm kind of excited to read this. It was released in January this year, so if you haven't seen it, check it out. I really like, as someone who enjoys history and is studying history, I really like looking at the different leaders of particular countries. For example, like the prime ministers here in Australia, the prime ministers and the kings and queens of Britain, the Egyptian pharaohs, you know, all that jazz from particular other countries, and also obviously the presidents, the American presidents. I haven't really studied them too much. I just sort of know bits and pieces here and there. The one president that I really do enjoy reading about is President Kennedy, not because we share the same last name, but because of kind of the whole assassination thing, and I don't know, he was just sort of, he was a different president. Like at that time, he was a fresh new president, different from any that America had had before, so he's just an interesting person, and I'm interested to see, you know, inside the private world of the White House, because it's quite interesting, because they do mention, like, you know, from the, so like just an example, from the mystique of the glamorous Kennedys to the tumult that surrounded Bill and Hillary Clinton during the president's impeachment, to the historic yet polarizing residency of Barack and Michelle Obama. So yeah, it should be really interesting. Definitely go check it out if you are interested in some of the American presidents. So that is it. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I forgot any books. Pretty sure. I definitely do have some more books coming. I did order a few more books in July that are yet to come. But anyway, that's it for now. Good luck to everyone doing the booktubeathon. I will see you soon, hopefully with a booktubeathon video challenge video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any, but yeah, other than that, I will see you guys soon with another video. I don't know what. Leave me some comments below of what sort of videos you want to see on this channel, and hopefully this video doesn't take me long to edit. I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.